Mr. Robert F. Diggs, my mother named me. He discovered hip-hop just hanging out with his big cousin by the name of Gary Grice, who they called Buck back then. And he took me to a few block parties on Staten Island, and he took me out to the Bronx, the Soundview Projects, and some block parties. I had to be about 8 years old, traveling around with a 12, 13-year-old cousin. And
what was it like when you first experienced it?
It's like, I don't know, it's like a rush. It was a rush. It was a certain kind of feeling I can't really describe. It was a charge of energy. It's like I got my ass whipped because I came in late. And I would do it again and get my ass whipped again. You know what I mean? Because the music, I couldn't leave the park, man.
Yeah. You never heard anything like that before?
Never, ever.
You once said crack culture influences hip-hop culture. What did you mean by that?
Well, definitely in the 80s, you know, in the late 80s, 85 to 86, 87 and on. It's just that all of us who was young hip-hoppers, who was these same kids that went to those block parties, who was the same kids that was breakdancing, who found a way to express ourselves besides gang violence. Now, we became kids that wanted material items, whether it was sneakers, clothes, and our parents couldn't afford them, and it pushed us all, I think, into the drug game. And crack was the drug that was being sold. And the culture, how it influenced it was the big time drug dealers. They were the ones who had the nice cars, the nice gold chains, and all the things that we wanted as a kid. And when we became hip hop, you'll notice that the hip hop artists went and bought the gold chains and all the same clothes that we saw the drug dealers wear. You know, a street hustler actually would sell anything. And I mean by that is that I was a street hustler. I sold fruit 1 year. I sold newspapers for 2 years. I sold socks. I was to go to Harlem. I'll go to the district, wholesale district on 6th Avenue, 23rd area. Buy the socks wholesale. They go uptown and sell it for $10.
Supply and demand.
Supply and demand, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I finally got my music, you know, Protected tapes, you know, I went and sold them to whoever I can. And also I gave, you know, for the drug business, if you was good and you had a reputation like Tony Montana, you get stuff on consignment, and somebody would trust you. I gave out 1,000 records on consignment to record stores, and some people paid me, and some people never paid me. I got people that took 2,500 records, and that was a loss. Only benefit I got from it was that the music got out there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, it's like today. I mean, when you do Wu Wednesdays, that's like consignment.
Yeah.
You give it out, and you hope that they like it, and then they buy it. They buy the album.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that turned out, but that is because.
I wanted you to just talk a little bit more about how, like, when you hit rock bottom, how it is that you find the strength to, like, get back up and do it again.
You know, when I hit rock bottom myself, you know, I was in a situation to where I had a new life form coming on the planet, which is my child. I had a woman pregnant. I had a mother that was disappointed in me and ashamed that I turned out the way I was turning out because she didn't want, you can tell by my name, she didn't want no criminal. Robert F. Diggs. I was named after the Robert Kennedy and John Kennedy. And so, you know, she wanted a real established man. And so it was embarrassing to her. I was embarrassed to my sister who had a job, and I caused her a lot of trouble because she had to bail me out with all her life savings. And I just knew I had to turn around, man, and go the right way. And I made that turn. And my mother told me that. She looked me in my face and said, boy, it's your second chance. Don't waste it. And I didn't waste it. I took her words. One thing about, I like to add on to you is that nowadays, I invest into loss. Because through loss, we learn how to win. So it's okay to lose. You know what I'm saying? As long as you can survive and play again another day. It's like chess. If you lose, you lose. But it's a game. Just don't lose your life. There's no chance of once you lose your life. There's an old Buddhist saying that they said in the old David Carradine series on Kung Fu. It said, he who attacks must vanquish. But he who defends must only survive. You know what I mean? That's what I do sometimes. I just survive the bullshit. Right. Because that means I got a chance to come back.
When you brought Wu together to make End of the 36 Chambers, right, and you finished it, I'm sure you were happy with the album, right? But did you know back then what it would mean to culture today?
Yeah, this is going to sound very egotistic, but my answer to that question is yes. I knew for an actual fact that what I was doing was fresh, new, and powerful, and it was going to change. My exact words, if you go back and watch my old interviews, I would say something like this: Wu-Tang's going to sell platinum. And people will be like, yeah, but Hammer sold 10 million. I go, yeah, but if I sell 1 million, I'll do better than Hammer. I said, why? They said, why you say that? I said, because there'll be 1 million people that'll wake up instead of 10 million people that still kept sleep. You know what I mean? I believe that what we was doing was going to wake up a whole generation. You know what I mean? And it was a calculated equation. It wasn't a by chance. If you ever talk to other Wu-Tang members, they didn't hit the album until I finished it.
I just laid it down and then...
Yeah, I went in like a movie director and I had edited, changed it, hooked it up. And then it was like, boom, here's the album. Everybody was like, yo, it's beautiful.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So
you talk about calculated as well, and like, you had this concept of a 5-year plan, which sounds like a businessman trying to write like a business plan.
It was a foresight thing as well. After seeing and measuring the temperature of what was around me, the industry, I had a chance to enter the industry at an early age of 18 and been around great artists like Kane, Karis, Coogee Rap, all these guys and their companies, and seeing what they was doing and what they wasn't doing. I knew that if I was able to live out what I was thinking, that I would become #1. I told the plan to my crew, you know, which was really, to put it in a nutshell, give me 5 years of dictatorship, and we'll be #1. Now, of course, we live in a democracy here. Democracy is what we try to spread around the world. But sometimes, only one man is the best knower. The name Noah himself goes back to Noah in the Bible. Nobody didn't know what Noah was talking about. He said they're building a boat. Even some of his sons didn't get on that boat. His friends thought he was crazy, but he knew something that was going to happen, and he prepared for it. That's how I felt with Wu-Tang. It's like I knew what I was doing, and I just needed everybody just to sit back and let me drive the bus. In my exact words, let me drive the bus. Don't ask me where we going. But in 5 years, I'll get us to #1. And we lived it out.
Yeah. And then after that 5 years was over,
I went with democracy.
You went to democracy?
Yeah.
Are you happy with the democracy?
Yeah, well, happy with democracy only in the sense of it gave everybody else a chance for their own self-gratification. It jeopardized the group because, you know, a spear only pierces you at the tip of it. Everything else is pushing it. But when you start changing the force, there ain't nothing gonna happen. And that's what happened. We started taking opinions and started, you know, listening to what he thinks, what he thinks, you know what I mean? And to me, that caused a big change.
So now, I mean, because of that, the Wu, you see it in all different forms now. You see it in many different shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
Do you ever see anything that just makes you cringe?
Oh, definitely. You know, there's a few buddies, you know, that grew up as my buddies that turned out to be guys I don't never want to see again. Yeah. Because they took my brand and they sold it, undersold it, or they infringed on it because they know me, because they grew up with me, you know. You got some guys that's still in the criminal activities because they grew up with us and they get arrested and they say they Wu-Tang. And, you know, I had to come back to Staten Island one year and I have a lady cop friend who said that on the 120 precinct in Staten Island has 3 notorious street gangs that they're investigating. Blood, Crips, and Wu-Tang. And I was like, Wu-Tang? Gang? It's a hip-hop group. But we had so many of us who've been incarcerated in the past. You know, we have a lot of fellas in my crew. 7 out of 9 of us are fellas. Yeah. We got the high school dropouts. We got all our homeboys who grew up in the projects that's all attached to us that just had a criminal lifestyle because of situations. And it makes it seem like there's a criminal activity, but that hurt me though, because so many times I go out there to feed people and to help people, and you see me write my books and pour my life out to people so they could avoid my mistakes. And then to see my face stuck on a wall beside your common street criminal, yeah, it makes me cringe.